Blue city crackdowns on migrant buses not working as busloads of illegal migrants are now being dropped off in Illinois and the New Jersey suburbs outside of New York City just to use mass transit to get into Chicago and to Manhattan. Our next guest is demanding answers about more migrants arriving in New Jersey. Congressman there, Republican, Jeff Van Drew joins us right now. Congressman, good morning to you.
Good morning.
So they found a loophole, the people behind the buses, because the mayor said, you got to coordinate with us if you're going to bring people in. And they said, you know what? We don't have to. We're going to drop them across in Jeff Van Drew's state of New Jersey.
Well, let me tell you, I mean, everybody's concerned about this. Americans and, of course, New Jerseyans are tired of illegal immigration. And I say to the people that are watching and listening to your show right now, every single state in the union should be concerned about it, number one. Number two, don't declare yourself a sanctuary city or a sanctuary state and say that this is okay. Unfortunately, New York City did that. Unfortunately, the governor of the state of New Jersey, Phil Murphy, said we were a sanctuary state. Right. That means that you will not cooperate with ICE, that you will not cooperate to get them back to the country of origin, that you'll give them all kinds of help to go to college, help as far as domicile and residency, help in transportation, in any way possible. We don't need to do this. The House of Representatives has a great piece of legislation. It passed the House. It's sitting in the Senate that would tighten up the borders. Right. The answer isn't more money into helping these people get processed and get across. The answer is to tighten up our borders and not allow illegal activity. And you know what? I'm worried for New Jersey because a number of them did go into New Jersey. Number one, we can't find out how many. And secondly, remember, it was only a few months ago that a plan got leaked out from Homeland Security. Thank God somebody did. And they were thinking of putting up to 60,000 illegals in Atlantic City Airport, in a town of only 35,000 people. It's unbelievable. This is just the wrong thing to do. Right. It's bad for the country. It's bad for New Jersey, certainly bad for New York.
Well, the reason they're dropping them off in New Jersey, and also there was a bus load apparently 60 miles shy of Chicago dumped there at a gas station in Illinois as well. The reason they're not going into New York is because the mayor said last Wednesday, executive order, you got to coordinate with us. And so they've started dropping them off at different train stations in New Jersey, and then the migrants get on the trains and come into New York. But to your point, they don't necessarily have to come into New York City, where I'm sitting right now. And in fact, in our state, we both live in New Jersey. In New Jersey, I was talking to somebody yesterday about this. In New Jersey, you do not need a Social Security number, a card, to get a driver's license. So why not stay in New Jersey?
Absolutely. Again, we have policies in New Jersey due to this governor and the Democratic majority that are unkind to the working people and the citizens of New Jersey that pay taxes and are very kind to those that would break the law. And what do they expect? Of course, the buses are trying to get around the new regulations, the new, enforcement that supposedly New York City was going to have, because they're used to breaking the law. It is against the law to bring people illegally into the United States of America. So if you're going to break the law once, why not break it a second time? This is a real worry. We've got to stop this. We've got to button up the border. We've done, legislation, as I said, in the House of Representatives that would finish building the wall, because it does work, would not allow processing of these illegals, wouldn't allow catch and release, would send them back immediately to the country of origin if they got through. We'd have the stay in Mexico policy and a number of other hire more enforcement actually right there at the border in the form of Border Patrol. We can do this. Steve, this isn't complicated. This is easy to do. It's not rocket science. It's called enforcing the law and obeying the laws of the United States of America.
Joe Biden could turn off the flow with a pen and a paper in 10 seconds, but he chooses not to. All right.
They don't want to.
Congressman Van Drew, thank you very much for joining us today, and Happy New Year, sir.
Happy New Year right back to you.
All right. I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.